Solution to the crisis in Ukraine are in disarray, with battles raging around Kiev's Independence Square just a day after similar clashes left 30 protesters dead. A meeting between Western foreign ministers and the Ukraine president is going ahead, but had to be moved to avoid the violence. Much of the fighting is taking place around the Hotel Ukraine, where Europe correspondent Philip Williams and other foreign media are staying. He's currently trapped inside the hotel, but still managed to file this report.
There had been hopes of a peaceful day in Kiev, but attempts to impose a truce have failed spectacularly. Independence Square was relatively calm until mid-morning when police were overrun by protesters.
This was a moment that was supposed to be a truce, and yet it is scale battles yet again. The protesters pushed out the police from the square, they retreated, now they're coming back. It sounds like they're using live fire.
This protester says the authorities have been using live ammunition.
You see their truce? They denounced the truce, but they keep throwing grenades at us. This is what they mean by truce. We don't trust them, and we'll keep defending ourselves.
Police are also using water cannon, while protesters have been hurling petrol bombs. The battles have made their way to the hotel, where much of the media is staying.
We just had to retreat back inside the room here because it appears a bullet or something has just about hit us and come into this room. So it's really not safe to be exposed out on that balcony. But what I can say is right now is utter chaos.
Foreign ministers from France, Germany and Poland arrived in Kiev this morning to meet the Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych.
We've seen these horrific pictures from Kiev, which are some of the largest uses of force in Europe in recent memory. Very worrying. This has to stop. We'll be exploring what can be done to prevent the recurrence. But we are realistic. We are under no illusion that the outside world can solve Ukraine's problems.
The international pressure has been building, with Russia denouncing the protesters and the West putting pressure on the government.
Along with our European partners, we will continue to engage all sides. And we continue to stress to President Yanukovych and the Ukrainian government that they have the primary responsibility to prevent the kind of terrible violence that we've seen, to withdraw riot police, to work with the opposition to restore security and human dignity and move the country forward.
The EU is considering imposing sanctions, but it looks like Ukraine might need a lot more than that to help solve this crisis and end the killing. Philip Williams, Late Line.
And Europe correspondent Philip Williams is with us now from Kiev. Philip, you said in that package that it wasn't safe to venture out there onto the balcony that we now see you're on. Clearly you're in the midst of a highly unpredictable situation. Paint the scene as it is now for us.
Well, right here, right now, we feel safe because we're on the lee of the fighting and the shooting. That's on the other side of this building. It was on this side. This was the side we had to evacuate because of the shooting. The hotel is no longer being occupied by some of the protesters, by the way. That's now been cleared. So right here in the square now, they are maintaining the defiance that they've kept going for 3 months. But of course, with extra urgency now because of the killings, that if President Yanukovych had any doubts about the determination of these people to stay, after what I've just seen, he should have them no longer, because we've seen body after body, wounded after wounded being dragged back from the front line, and still they keep going. And the extraordinary part is too that they can rebuild those barricades. They're incredibly well organised. They have their fighting militias, they have their rebuilding militias. And you can't see it here, but I'm just looking down here and seeing a rebuilding process again, because of course they expect at some stage there's going to be another assault. This by far the bloodiest day, and it's far from up. Government is going to react and how the police are going to react. But clearly something is going to happen, whether it's today or tomorrow or the day after. Can negotiations get a breakthrough? Can the EU ministers possibly convince the President to change course? Well, history of the last few days would probably say no, but there is still hope that world pressure will change the course here. These people say they've demanded all along President Yanukovych should resign and there should be fresh elections if he